Hi everyone, I'm Tristan, and today we're going to do an advanced Toeic/grammar lesson in which we look at one of the most difficult Toeic questions I have ever seen. Now, before we start, I want to thank all of you because my channel now has 4,000 subscribers. I never thought I would get that high. Anyway, let's get into the lesson. Here we go. Okay, I want to be clear about this Toeic question. It is extremely difficult because the grammar that you need to answer this question is not common. It is used in very specific situations. All right, to get this answer, you have to realize that this is passive voice. We can see it says the company was thought. For example, they thought the movie was terrible. This is subject, verb, and then object. For passive voice, you could do two things. You could start with the movie was thought or it was thought. These are both different forms of passive voice in this context. So, let's look at the original form of this Toeic sentence. We're going to look at it in passive voice. Many people thought the company had intentionally ignored the regulations. So, we see that this would be the original in active voice. Now let's start eliminating answers. First, eliminate D, was. Why? Well, you already have a main verb in this sentence. The main verb is was thought. Let's look at an example. The man was hurt, was rushed to the hospital. This is wrong because you already have was hurt, that is your main verb, and now you have another verb, rushed. We can't have two verbs as main verbs. Now, if you used an adjective clause, it would be correct. If you said the man who was hurt was rushed to the hospital. If you have who was hurt, you do not have who was hurt as a main verb. It is just an adjective clause. Or the idea was thought about was wrong. Once again, this is incorrect because we have was thought about, which is your main verb, and another verb, was. You could say the idea that was thought about was wrong because that was thought about is an adjective clause. So if we look at the Toeic question, it says the company was thought, that's our main verb, and then we have another was, which is another main verb. It doesn't work. Next, eliminate A. When you use people believe, think, argue, write, show, that subject plus verb. For example, people believe that drinking and driving is dangerous. You can start with it and say it is believed that drinking and driving is dangerous. You can see this passive form. So it is believed that subject verb. But it would be wrong to say drinking and driving is believed that drinking and driving is dangerous. Let's look at another example. People think that the company intentionally ignored regulations. So this is active. People think that subject verb. If I start with it, I would say it is thought that the company intentionally ignored regulations. I would not say the company is thought that the company intentionally ignored regulations. That's very strange, as you can see. So remember this form. People think, believe, argue, that subject verb. It is argued, it is believed, that subject verb, it. Therefore, we can eliminate A. So now we have two choices left. Well, the answer is B. Let's look at some examples of this grammar from the news. So this is from Japan. The number of babies born in Japan was believed to have dropped to a record low in 2022. So, the original statement in active voice is, experts believe the number of babies born in Japan had dropped to a record low in 2022. I could also say, it is believed that the number of babies born in Japan had dropped to a record low. Let's look at another example from Thai news, from Thailand. The elephant is thought to have been looking for food before it was hit by the car. So the original is, people think the elephant was looking for food, or it is thought that the elephant had been looking for food. So when we look at these forms, the original is, people think or thought that A plus verbed, or had verbed. It is thought that A verbed. But if we start with the A, if we start with that object, we will say A is thought to have verbed. So let's go back to the Toeic question. People thought that the company had intentionally ignored regulations. So it was thought that the company had intentionally ignored regulations. Now if we start with the company was thought to have intentionally ignored regulations. So once again, the answer is B. I know this was challenging. Hopefully you learned some advanced grammar. Have a wonderful day. Bye.